Good afternoon, Coach. Congratulations on a great win yesterday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good
Hey,
afternoon.
hey, it seems that your back end defense against the run has really improved in the last couple of weeks. What are some of the things that you've worked on to get your back end guys, your linebackers and D backs, to do a better job against the run?
Yeah, it's really starts front to back. And I've talked about it in past weeks, but it's our consistency of, gap integrity, which we talk a lot about, going into our fundamentals, whether it's block destruction, run pass keys, and everything that's kind of combined in that. Proper depth in your alignment, proper depth up front, the width of my alignment up front. So there's a lot that goes into it. And, we've had a lot of guys in and out. So you really got to focus in and pinpoint each individual player and where they need their individual improvements and growth. And credit to our guys, man. We knew that they were going to come in here and try to establish a run. And for the most part, except a few in there, we did a pretty dang good job.
How happy were you, Coach? And my last question about the play of some of those guys up front, including getting back Ed Oliver and in particularly Greg Russo.
You're just saying how was their play?
No, I said how happy were you with their play, getting them back, Ed Oliver and Greg Russo.
It's always good to be at full strength and get some of those key players back, and they did a pretty dang good job, and we'll continue. There's areas in each of their game where there's room for growth, and we're going to continue to pinpoint those and go after those. But it's really nice to have them back.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You got it.
Hey, Bobby, John Worrell with the AP.
Hey, John, how are you?
Good. What's it say about the trust that you've developed in Dwayne Carter at such a early stage of the season in a rookie, to have him on the field for, to be able to make a game-turning play as he did in the third quarter there?
Yeah, I mean, with consistency comes trust, and I talk a lot. We talk a lot as a defense about, just like the NBA, this is a make or miss league, and you're either making plays or you're not. And we talk about that, and it's really important to make sure we're not chasing plays at the same time. And within the framework and structure of our defense and how our defense works, of making the plays that present themselves. And I think Greg, I heard him say yesterday after the game, he said, and I joke around a lot, it might not be the 8th time, it might not be the 9th time, it might be the 10th time. You just got to make sure you're in position and you're not chasing things. Things tend to get frantic when you chase plays. And Dwayne's doing a good job of focusing in on what each individual call is telling him to do, and then lining up what's his key, tell him to do. And then when a play does show up, being able to make that play.
What stood out rewatching the tape of that play and what Dwayne did?
And really when you look at it, it starts with get off the ball. That's what we talk about. Get off the ball. And he did a great job. D-line, there's a lot of footwork and hand placement involved there. And he did a great job with his pad level, his footwork, his hand placement, and at the point of attack, he won, and really we all know that was a big play in the game. And, that's as good as a takeaway. That's a sudden change as far as that's concerned.
Sure. I get that. And lastly, how much of an advantage or benefit do you get from having a guy who's 23 years old coming in as a rookie? He's going to be 24 in December, but just the level of experience and the maturity that he has, as opposed to maybe a younger player, and how much does that help in his development and from what you've seen from him?
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up, because Dwayne, regardless of his age, he comes across as a more mature young man, and that certainly helps you when it comes to, framing your mind every week and kind of coming up with that routine and everything that's involved. And what you see out of him right now is, yes, there is some inconsistency, but that inconsistency is starting to wane a little bit with more consistency showing up. Really targeted him after last week on a few things that he needed to improve, and he did a pretty dang good job. And nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. We're chasing perfection. And that's what we're going to look for in him, just that continued consistency.
And I'm sorry to belabor this, and because I said last question, but I recall back to his draft when he got drafted, and there was all this noise in the background on his Zoom call, and he's telling his father. He gets up from the table and tells his father to essentially pipe down. You don't usually see that, but it's like, what do you get out of his personality that is, I guess, he's assertive, and yet, kind of is his own person in that sense.
Yeah, I would say this about Dwayne. The thing, when it comes to football, like on the football field, the thing that I've really enjoyed watching him, if you go back all the way back to Houston, when he had I believe that was his first start, you go back to Houston, the energy that he brings, the juice, that to me is something that, yes, I saw in the college tape, but for a rookie to, make a play and establish himself, especially early in that game, that's unique, and that's great to see. And I know it gets everybody going. And I know most importantly, he's earning the respect of his teammates, and that's really important. So I would say, as far as his personality, yes, he's assertive, but he's still a rookie in our building, so, but those are some of the cool things that you see from him. When you watch the tape, my eyes go from a play made down to get ready for the next call. So I don't see a lot of that until I see it the next day or that night.
Good stuff. Thanks, Bobby.
You got it.
Hey, Bobby, how does the defense build off of a strong second half performance here?
Hey, Maddie. I'm kind of sick about talking about the strong second halves, and they've done a great job in the strong second half. We need to come out firing. It's interesting. I was having a discussion today with the staff about, you look back at Houston, we come out, bang, we start out with a 3-and-out, come out hot, bang. I think it was the next two series, self-inflicted wounds affect us. You go to this game, we come out with a 4-and-out. They hit the one boot on us, got the first down. We get off the field on third down. I believe it was the next two series, second, third series, they move the ball a little bit. And we have to maintain that same, energy and focus that we had on the first series as we do those next two. So the second half piece of things is very encouraging, but we need to come out and start faster. And the guys have done a good job grasping of what the offense is trying to do to us at halftime. But we need to do that a little bit sooner.
Can you take us behind the curtain a little bit on what happens in halftime? I know it's not like you guys have 20 minutes and you're drawing up plays and you're saying, okay, do this on this, do that on that. It's, hey, we have a couple minutes to talk about all of this, regroup. Maybe you have, something to drink, eat, and you're back out on the field. What has happened at halftime to allow these guys to really play at a really high level?
Yeah. So, I think Sean hit on this a little bit. It's not always schematics. And sometimes it is schematics, getting together as a staff and saying, hey, here are the 4 things we need to hit. Bang, 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 bang. Okay, we're good here. Pinpoint a couple areas in the game where maybe we're not having as much success, specifically third down, this game, and we need to be a lot better on third down. But, just some areas there. And so it could go 2 different ways. And really it's 3 different ways. It can go, hey, we're doing a good job. Nothing's going to change. Just keep doing what we're doing. It can be, a mental thing. It can be a calm them down. We're good. Let's just read our keys, do what our keys tell us to do, and execute. And then it can be, hey, schematically, they tweak this, so we need to tweak a couple things here or there. So, and it's a short amount of time. So we got to go in there. We got to be efficient. We got to roll.
Thanks, Bobby.
You got it.
Hey, Bobby. I think 7 games through now. Christian Benford, at times, I feel like you could forget about him a little bit, or maybe even like take him for granted a little bit. I'm sure you don't. But can you speak to his growth, where he is in terms of the weekly production you're getting, and what you're seeing from teams maybe try not to challenge him because of the growth that he's made?
Yeah, CB is a joy to be around. I think there's been a lot of talk on our new wide receiver who doesn't talk much. CB doesn't talk at all. And when I say at all, he's a very quiet person, extremely intelligent, understands the scheme in and out. So that's a joy to coach. As far as his play goes, he's playing well. And I think he would tell you that in the Jets game didn't play as well as he wanted to. There was a couple things we saw, that he needed to focus on this week, and he did a heck of a job, But, just like his personality, I think right now he does go a little unnoticed, but he's certainly, doing his job at a high level, and, we're looking for him to continue that.
And now that you're 7 games in, what's it been like in your new role? And like, obviously Sean was in the DC role. We talked about that just whole development and maturation of what that was going to be. What's it been like 7 weeks in, and how you guys work together, and how you've asserted yourself, but also leaning on him with all the experience?
Yeah. Like I said way back, I lean on him heavily. I know he trusts me. And so that has not changed. I still lean on him heavily. And for me, what is it today? Monday of week 8 is a new day. Every day is a brand new day. And I know you'd think, hey, each week is the same. It's not. And, especially as we go through a lot of these prime time games and those type of things, and with managing time and making sure that, you look at tape a certain way, right? Like I was a safeties coach and linebackers coach. There was a certain way I did things. And now as a coordinator, all the different, you have your hands in every area. And so you really have to manage your time, well. I would say that, there's a lot of things that I'd like to do different, hindsight, which I hate hindsight, but there's a lot of learning opportunities there, and I'm going to continue to learn. I'm going to continue to grow, try to pinpoint the areas where I need to improve first, and show that to the players, as an encouragement for them to find areas where they grow.
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Hey, Bobby, Tim Graham with The Athletic here.
Hey, Tim.
I'm asking the question with the linebackers in mind, but I think this can pertain to any position group, especially now here you're entering week 8. You've had to get guys ready at every position. We talk about reps, especially training camp or whatever, and these young guys and the value of their reps to get them ready to play. Backups, I'm talking about younger guys.
That's right.
But what does it do for a coach for these guys to get their reps? So that way it prepares you for what, and get with familiarity and things. What's the perspective from you to them versus what they can do for the team?
It's a great question. I think I used the word earlier. I think the biggest thing that you're looking for is trust, right? So you're going to get an opportunity in practice, and I think this will answer your question. You're going to get an opportunity in practice, and for the backups, way back moving from college to the NFL in my career, it's like, wow, like in college you have all these reps and you're getting all these backups, all these reps. Well, in the NFL, it's hard. It's hard, and you only have a 53-man roster as opposed to a college roster where you have maybe 100. I don't even know what they're at anymore. So you have a small opportunity and a small window to be able to show that, hey, not only my teammates, but my coaches can trust that I can go in and play at a high level. So I think it's twofold right there, to where there's a practice portion of things to where, hey, I'm going to show them that I know what I'm doing and I can go in and I'm ready to roll. And then there's the game. So now you going in the game, and what's that look like? As opposed to practice, and hey, is there a disconnect when we get into the game? Can they take their practice reps and just turn them into game reps? And so I think that's the way you look at it. So there's two pieces of evaluation when it comes to that. And it just comes down to building trust. Hey, this guy can go into practice. He can run the show. He can operate at a high level, and then he can go into a game and operate at a high level.
In general, where is week 8 in that arc in terms of what you think? I mean, what are the unknown unknowns at this point in week 8?
Yeah, I think I if I was to put a percentage on it, I would say, I think we've had 16 starters on defense this year. So I would say that we're sitting at about a 80-85% clip of kind of knowing what to expect, not good or bad either way, but knowing what to expect when, player X or player Y goes in. That's what I'd say as a guesstimate on percentage wise of the roster, kind of knowing what we would get if that player went in.
Great insight. Thanks so much, Bobby.
You got it.